Well, hello, Urban Sketchers. It is another Sunday, but this time, ta-da, sunlight. How cool is that? We're coming to you live as usual. I'm Rob, your host, and I'm coming to you from Hong Kong. It is now 11 a.m. We have done the time shift for USk Talks. Partway season, we always shift the time. Why? Because we'd like to accommodate viewers from the other side of the globe. So now we're switching it so that it's daylight in Asia, Australasia, and in line with that, we have guests on our show today coming from this side of the world as well. So it's very cool to be joined by people everywhere. And I'm just taking a look again at the comments. Oh, hello. Yeah, that's right. It's evening. It's nighttime on west coast of the US. So hello, Debbie from LA and Eileen from San Francisco. You guys are tuning in every time, no matter what time we're on. So thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, there's so many of you from Toronto, Canada, from Chicago. Hey, Kumi from Japan. Hello, Christina from Cincinnati. And hi, Anne-Marie. Oh, yeah, that's right. It is Saturday. It's Saturday night, so we're actually straddling time. Back to, well, I'm not going to get into the science fiction bit of it. Hi, Di from Cape Town. Okay, and we've got Brian from New Zealand. That's good. Neil from New York City. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for joining us for another episode of USk Talks. Okay, so we're here with the time change and all that. And if you've seen the promos, you know that today we're talking to two chapters on this side of the globe. The first is a chapter that has seen some phenomenal growth in the last couple of years or so. It's like urban sketching has just exploded there. It is a country rich with history and tradition, and we're very excited to talk to the chapter from South Korea. And then we've got in New Zealand coming to us from like on the other side, like they see daylight before anybody else, the Kiwis. We've got this exciting young, well, actually, no, they're not a young chapter. It's a young country, but it's steeped in tradition as well. And we're also really, really excited to talk to sketches from New Zealand. So let's get the show going because there's so much happening. Like we're talking to urban sketchers in Korea today, as well as urban sketchers in New Zealand. Now, I can see that a lot of you are typing in and saying where you're from. Thank you so much. Let me know if your country or your city has a chapter. Can you just type in the name of the chapter? Because sometimes like it's maybe you're saying you're from, like I can see Hannah is saying she's from Florida. Hi from Florida. But tell me which chapter you're from. If there is a USk chapter in your city, let me know where that's from. Just type in USk, Is it Orlando? Is it Miami? Hannah, just let us know. So just type in there, please, which chapter, is there a USk chapter, where you're from, and what chapter is that? All right, Eileen's really quick already from San Francisco. Hannah is in Jacksonville. Oh, Di is from USk Cape Town. See, oops. Oh, no, that's Ellen. Ellen says, we don't have one yet. That is not a problem because you can set one up, perhaps. Always good. Oh, Rita's coming to us from USk Portland. Okay, great. Awesome. All right. Good to see you all coming in from chapters all around the world. And there's no chapter in your city yet. Perhaps there might be one soon. We hope. Okay. We've got lots of inspiration for you. First up, let's invite the sketchers from Urban Sketches Korea. Joining us from Suwon. Hello. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
From Seoul, we've got Charlie, and from Gyeongju, USk
Talks.
Hello.
Hi. How are all of you?
It's
so good to see you all.
Hey, hi. Nice to meet you. Charlie needed to turn on your voice. Okay. Oh, sorry, Charlie.
Charlie, you're muted.
Charlie, you need to.
Sorry.
Okay.
First of all, I would like to say the Korean language. I would say hello. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
Everybody learns how to say it. Say that.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
안녕.
안녕.
안녕하세요.
It's
Just
not
like
Indian.
안녕하세요.
Yes.
Yes, yes, it's true.
안녕하세요.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I just learned
Okay.
one important word. 안녕하세요. From
Yes.
that's good because all I know is kimchi and
Okay.
sort of,
So, 안녕하세요.
I know some food, which is important because then but 안녕하세요. Okay, that's right. Someone from
Wow,
Incheon
you
is
are
saying
quick learner.
안녕하세요. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
glad to be able to learn that. So we're very excited to talk to you because we've heard so much about sketching in Korea, and you guys are so active. There are things happening all the time, which is fantastic. I've met some of you at symposiums, and then I know you've been really, really active of late. So I think everyone's very, very excited to learn a little bit more about sketching in Korea. So, but first up, let's pull up the slides so that let's share the screen so that we
Wow.
can introduce everyone who's on. First, we've got Charlie. He's from USK Seoul. Then we've got Keesung and Jeewon coming to us from USK Suwon. And then we've got this trio from Gyeongju, Michelle, Jasmin, and Dongsik. Okay, so this is everyone. We have a happy crowd. Today it's like a sketcher party going on. So we're all going to have
Yes.
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 So we know that there are many chapters in Korea and in South Korea, and that's really cool to know. But maybe Charlie, you can tell us a little bit about the history of urban sketching in Korea. Like, how did it start and all that? Let me pull up your slide so that you can tell us.
Okay. So hello, my name is Charlie Lee. I'm administrator of USK Seoul. So I've joined the 2 global symposium and the Vietnam, Hanoi as well. So we just started in Korea for urban sketchers. Korea was established for the 3rd time in the world in 2009. It's very early. So through the Mrs. The Byung-hwa Yu, before the urban sketcher Seoul, so many outdoor watercolor communities were there. They are active, and then some of the people is moved to the urban sketchers, and Byung-hwa Yu, Mrs. Byung-hwa Yu is a lead this community. And also in 2009, the USK Seoul is founded and recommended by Gabi, Gabi, who is the founder of the urban sketchers, right? So Mrs. Byung-hwa Yu set up the USK Seoul as a founder. I just started in June of 2009, as I heard that. So with the several members. Since then, the USK Suwon and Jeju, Ulsan, Busan. As currently we have 5 official chapters now. Ulsan, sorry. And I would like to briefly introduce our contributors of USK Seoul. Mm-hmm. So Minyoung, Jax, Gloria, Minha, and B. Maybe some of the Korean names forget within the five minutes later, I think.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, anyway, so we have 5 administrators in USK Seoul, and they are contributing to the enhancement and encouraging our USK Seoul with me. This is our group porters. So we have a regular meeting. At least once a month. So since 2009, and enjoy sketching together to keep our manifesto. As currently we have around about 100 people, but this active member is around 40 to 50 members can meet the offline meeting, sketch meetup. So we sketch it from typically 10:30 to 4 p.m. on the 3rd third Saturday of every month, and they sketch the street exhibition, just like this porter. It's one of the interesting as the look at the big sketchbook on the top left side, and then next to the very tiny sketchbook.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, this means that so we have a various style and various sketchbook, various tools, stuff. We are just enjoying the urban sketching together. So this is one of the characteristics of Seoul.
But
So
it's so good to see like so many sketchers in Seoul. You were saying
yes,
that it's like about 100 of you, right?
yeah,
Wow.
we will have a.
How are you managing now? Maybe you can give us an idea, Charlie. What is it like now in Seoul? Are you able to sketch together?
Yes. So typically we have as a community Instagram and Facebook and the blog as well. Though especially in Korea case, we have the how to say, just like a WhatsApp. It's
WhatsApp?
Korea
Yeah,
local WhatsApp. Yes.
yeah,
So we are
messaging
very
group.
quickly communicate with them.
Right.
So this is a very useful tool. So members around about 200 people, but as I think in Korea, USK Seoul's members are 100 people. Yeah.
But under the current situation with COVID and the pandemic and lockdown, what is it like now in Korea? Is it open? Can you go out? Can you go and draw? Or is everybody staying at home?
Yeah, everybody want to go to outside drawing sketch together, as you may know. But as due to pandemic situation, we are sketching at home and make some of the online event as well.
Okay.
And also the recently we are just picking the sketch venue. Just that's it, and then we cannot meet.
Okay.
Just drawing each other, and then we can share as their sketch as online via online. Just that's it.
But that's a great idea. At least like you can all go and draw something, and then after that you have a meeting online to do a show and tell.
Exactly. Sometimes we have a meeting with the online via Zoom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can
Okay.
share some of the story and experiences as well.
Okay, that sounds
Yeah.
really good. Okay,
Yeah.
coming back to your images, like you've got lots of group
Yeah, this
photos.
is
I'm
yeah,
like,
encouraging. Yeah, encouraging perspective. This supporter is when we joined the Global Urban Sketch Symposium. After that, so we will share our experience and the activities, some of the event stories, whatever, share with our local sketchers.
That's a really, really good idea. I've heard of some chapters around the world who do that, to share experiences after attending a symposium, so everybody else who couldn't go, they have an idea what happened.
Right.
Excellent. You've got lots of really good activities.
Thank you. And this one is as a collaboration perspective, as some of our neighborhood sketchers, they have some of the event at the time as we go there, and then we join together, enjoying together, sketch together. This is the US Urban Sketchers Incheon have a year-end party last year. Year-end party event at the time. So our administrators go there and they share the sketching, sketchbook and story, and they listen their stories. We got a fun together.
That sounds excellent. And I guess, I mean, I'm going to pull all of you on screen now. It looks like, at least like we've just seen one example from Seoul. The reason that you are all growing so well is because you have so many events. Yeah, I like that little flag also. I mean, Charlie, you showed that to me, and that's such a great idea. Hong Kong needs that.
Yeah,
What is that? What is
this is the Korean characters. This is the first letter of Korean characters.
Yeah.
Seoul. Suwon.
Oh, right. That's so Korean. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Very simple. So please remember this one.
Yeah,
This
it's
is
such a
Korea
nice, strong
Africa.
graphic image as well. We've got an interesting question from Gladys. Gladys is in Jakarta right now. She wants to know, how do you say urban sketchers in Korean?
How do you?
How do you say
We
urban
call
sketchers?
it just
You know,
urban
it's not easy
sketchers.
to, stay in
Okay,
Korea.
well, hang on. There's so many of you answering all together. All right, Michelle, I see you up. So tell me, how do you say
Okay, I
urban?
was first. Okay, thank you. Actually, it's not easy to saying, how to say, to translate. Literally, it's hard to translate. So I guess it's just, pronunciation as in English. So it's just say urban sketch. That's all. We
Really?
just say
Okay.
urban sketch in
How about,
Korean.
how do you say drawing in Korean?
그리기?
그리기.
Uh-huh.
그리기. Or do you have to say 그리기?
Yeah, Korea.
So
Korea
we
is
don't
also-
use in Korean, okay?
Oh, right.
So just say urban sketch.
You just say urban sketch, okay. And
Yeah, in Korean.
so if I'm drawing in on the street and somebody asks what you're doing, if I say urban sketch, do many Koreans understand this word?
Oh yeah, actually many Korean know about sketching. Sketching means like a
Oh.
drawing. So
Okay,
they sketching is a kind of well-known English word, but
Okay.
they don't. People doesn't know about the urban means. So they can assume at least it's about the drawing. So
Okay.
I guess.
So I think
Gerigi. Gerigi.
so I think we have to explain the
Perfect.
between difference the sketching and urban sketching and just painting. So we always explain what's the differences between them.
Yes. Okay, that's good. I mean, that's one excellent way to make conversation with people who are curious, and obviously it works. So, I mean, that brings me to my next question, Keesung. Maybe you can tell us, like, is urban sketching popular? I mean, I guess it must be becoming very popular, and also tell us about the chapters and all that. How many? I've heard that you have 5 official chapters and many unofficial. So, tell us about that. First up, is urban sketching popular in Korea?
Yes, there is several. At first, let me introduce myself. And hi, hello, my name is Keesung Song, USK Suwon, Korea. And okay, let's see these photos. Yeah, that is not Rob, but Alvin. Yes, right? Yes, when
Yeah.
people compute the Rob and Alvin in Hong Kong, and at first, I studied the urban sketching at 2014, and I joined the urban sketch symposium at 2014 at Brazil and Parachi. And after that, I joined the Singapore and Manchester and Porto, Amsterdam, Taichung, and Hanoi, like that. So I met so many people and many sketches. I can connect the all of the persons in the world. So could you please show that the photos with Ivan and me? Okay.
Oh,
And-
sure.
Yes. Yes, I can meet Ivan like that. So at the first time, I joined the Urban Sketchers as a sponsor for the introduce the panel. But so many people, maybe at the first time, many sketchers can remember me as pen-up guy like that. I used that blue hat at the first time in there.
I remember meeting you the first time in Singapore too. Yeah.
Yes, and then next then I just turn on my sketches, just urban sketches, and at the below pictures, Alvin and me met the portrait at the workshop with Ian Penny, and I'm so glad to the Alvin to meet you, Alvin. So we take the photo as a background to the Ian. So Ian got angry and he pissed off for us. So take a picture of me as a background. So at that time we some nice and happening at that time. So I spent some nice time in that several symposiums. So I need to want to spread it out to all of the country, our people, our sketchers. So but at that time I felt some difficulties to join the USK Seoul. At the first time, there was no chapters except the Seoul. So I had some difficulties to the Seoul because I need to change the buses to go to Seoul. About sometimes I need to change 3 times a bus, public transportation. So at the time I met some nice sketchers, so like the Jeewon and some other sketchers lived in Suwon. So we talking about each other's, how about make our own chapters like the USK Suwon. So we start our own chapter in Suwon, and so I can spread it my experience to the other people. So make the workshop and some event. So it's just the start of the Urban Sketchers Suwon, and could you show the pictures of our Earth? So
Sure.
yes, okay, and then
Here we have Alvin again, and finally,
yes, finally, yeah, there is our audience in Korea, USK Suwon, and to the left, me, and to the Ginny, he's on the Jeju for workshop. He's doing workshop, and the next is Jeewon, and the Hyosun is on some fair on the Seoul, and the Jyojin, yes. Like that, we have 5 brothers in Suwon's admin. Yes, and we did some. We met the sketch meet once a month, and then we did the online meeting like this COVID-19 situation. And then I really want to make some event like the symposium. So after Singapore, I had a dream to someday we could host a symposium like them. So I dreamed to make some big event, and so 2019 maybe?
Maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago, yes. And we invited the KK. Kiakian is one of the global instructor, yes, and Kiakian, I met him at Parachin maybe, and I asked him, how about come to Korea and give some lecture to want to have a workshop. So this picture is, this photo is the group photo for that. So that is maybe that is the first global instructors urban sketch workshop in Korea, I think.
Wow.
Yes,
this is in Suwon, or is it in Seoul?
In Suwon, yes.
Oh, okay, wow. This looks like a beautiful place to draw.
Yes, when you come to Suwon, you can see, of course.
Background is the big gate, which is called Hwasa Gate. It is really nearly the 200 years ago. So it's 200
years old. Okay.
Yes.
So for Korea, 200 years old is actually very young. Your civilization is very old. You have lots of beautiful old things to draw. So good to know.
Yeah, there are many hotspots in the Suwon city. These kinds of old structure or old gated, old rampart, and so on. You can enjoy if you want to visit here. Okay, you are always welcome to come here.
Okay, I think lots of people will do a lot of Google search now after this and find out more about about Korea. Okay.
Yes, that's so nice, good position. And then so keep
Very
going
exciting.
and that is a photo with Charlie, Jeewon, and Keesung. And then I knew the person who sketcher in the Jeju Island. Her name is Jeju Yudit, and she is so active person in the Jeju for the urban sketchers. So I asked her, how about to make the USK Jeju? But at the first time she doesn't want to make that chapter because she didn't know about the chapters rule, and I think she is such a some shy woman to not want to open her face like that. So, but some days later, she made up her mind to make the USK Jeju, and then to cheer up to set up the Jeju, we gather the sketchers, the several cities, and go to the Jeju and make the Jeju sketch work. So
Wow.
Jeju Island is far from our Suwon or Seoul. We needed to take the airplane, and then this photo is for Cheonjeon Fall, in very famous fall in Jeju. Okay, and then that is our one of the event in Jeju sketch work.
This is one of the events in Jeju. Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Then Jeju Island is such a beautiful island. You need to go. You must go.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm
And then
sure it's one of the places that people will definitely want to check out. And what's happening here? Why are you drawing whales?
yes, it is. This photo is from the Ulsan, the name of the Ulsan city. Yes, Ulsan is what you
The
know.
signature or
Yes.
their sign is the
Yes.
wave.
Yes, the Ulsan is famous for whale. So long time ago, that city called the whale. So there is a whale festival and the whale museum like that. So
Oh, wow.
because why in this picture is the one of our admin, the Genie Park Sung-jin, the artist, he is one of our admin, and his hometown is Ulsan. So and he majored in the design. So he knew so many sketchers lived in Ulsan. So he made the urban sketchers Ulsan with his members. So Ulsan, of course, like the Jeju, there was Ulsan sketch work like that. So that was the first time I went to the Ulsan and drew these photos, drew these drawings. So also and last like this, the me and our Suwon team spread it out to some urban sketchers mind to some cities, okay, like that. So there was something popular in Korea so about the urban sketchers, and I think there is more and more people know about the urban sketching and to start to the urban sketch, and then final last big bomb, maybe I think the drop by the Gyeongju. There was a big event in the Gyeongju like that. The name called the Gyeongju Sketch Festa. So Charlie and me joined that as a task force for planning that event at the first time. So there is I think that is the biggest event that is more big than the Suwon sketchy Suwon Keikiakian workshop like that. So that is the biggest event in the Korea. So many sketchers gathered all of the city, all of the country. They knew about the urban sketchers, and they knew what is so interesting, and that is so fun about the urban sketch and symposium like that. So because I melting my experience about the urban sketcher symposium, I joined several times, and the urban sketch Gyeongju Festa it looks like a symposium. Maybe some Gyeongju team introduce a little bit more detail. And so
Yeah, I'm waiting to. I'll definitely ask our sketchers from Gyeongju about this because I've also heard about it, and I know that it's very exciting. So I really like the idea of how like one city decides, okay, we're gonna have an event, and it looks like you have sketchers from all over the country who will travel and support it and make it good. Right.
Yes.
This is how
Yes,
the urban sketching thing is spreading in your country.
yes, I think so. That is not only a reason, but I think that could be very helpful for other people. And then I made a chatting room in KakaoTalk, and the KakaoTalk is one of the famous messenger, better than the Facebook or the other WhatsApp like that in Korea. And I gathered that chatting room as all of the city's admins and who want to make the chapters. So we we share our know-how and some give a help and to support, and then so we very instantly spread out our mind, and that is finally our chapters in all of the country like that. The red dot is the official chapters, and the blue dot is the unofficial chapters, and they want to be official. Yeah, maybe.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much open sketching going on, and I think, many people know of Seoul, but to hear about all the other cities as well, and that you have urban sketching in so many parts of your country, it's really, really impressive. So the island right at the bottom is Jeju?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Right. Okay. That's a lot of traveling.
Okay, and two more chapters is right approved to the official Gyeongju and Incheon. Yes, this image made by Gyeongju's admin, the Gaengyang. Her name is Gaengyang-nim. She is a wonderful artist to make these images just a few hours. So.
Oh wow! Okay, she did that. Okay, so we definitely have to thank her for giving us a visual idea of where all the chapters are in Korea. That's in South Korea. That's very exciting. Okay, you've told us so much about this Gyeongju Festa. I'm very curious now. So, Jasmin, Michelle, and Dongsik, I know you're from Gyeongju. Tell us about this Gyeongju Sketch Festa and what it's all about. How did you start to organize it? And maybe you can share with us also like some of the challenges, some of the difficulties in organizing, and under all these circumstances now with the pandemic and the COVID and all that, also what was hard, what was good, what was successful. Share that with us, please.
Did you turn it on? Yes. Hi. Yeah. What can I say? First one is I like to share about the past one Festa 2019. It was successfully done, and it was showcase for all the city nearby Gyeongju, like such as Ulsan, Busan, and other cities in the south area. So but you guys know 2020 has COVID-19 happens. Everything was changed like any other countries. So but we of course downsized the event. But even though 100 people came in and joining drawing together, but under the pandemic rules, keeping social distance. So that was we had a pros and good cons when we had a festa during the pandemic. So we had a good model case. That's 20. Okay, the picture was for 2019 festa after drawing. We had all together get the photo, took a photos. Okay, sure. Okay, Jasmin will tell about the pictures.
Okay.
Well,
please.
Yes, that was the last day of the 2019 Urban Sketch Festa. It was the first time in a huge big event in our country. We call out all of the sketchers coming to Gyeongju and invited them. Then we have a great time. We had a great time. And some participants asked for, will you hold the next year, the next one? So why not? That's why we had the second festa.
I like that attitude. Why not?
Yeah. Yes, why not? You said it is a kind of a challenge. Yes, so we just encourage them and join us, and then we held one the next year.
Okay.
Yes, this is for next year, which is last year. 2020. So we had downsides. I told you before, but I guess 18 professional artists from nations came in, and with under up to 8 sketchers had class, and then they went to some certain spots and then drawing together, and then join later on. Can you move the next pictures?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
And
this is the last
this
picture.
is your idea of
last day.
downsize.
That's not the downsize.
No, it's downsizing.
I mean, first year, was it like 400?
Yes.
This is 200. Around.
Yes, just half
So-
of the people.
Wow.
So I can tell this
Oh, that's
year will be same event like last year's. So we know that we can. I'm so proud of we can handle event even though in the during the pandemic, because we had a good successful event last year. So we might have same thing event in this October.
Oh,
That's what we're thinking.
Can I add one more thing? We just at that time we prepared the medical steps near the pasta place. So there was the ambulance and the medical steps, and we have to check our people and the job.
Wow.
Yes,
So you
and
had temperature checking stations.
yes,
Yes.
right. And we also ask for the participation to must be wearing your mask.
Yeah, keep
And we provided each the lunch box for each person. So
Oh.
it was not easy, but I think it was so successful. And after the festa, we couldn't find out no infection. No.
Wow.
nobody.
Okay, that's very important. No
Yes.
infection. Everything went
Yes.
well. And
Yes.
yeah, even 200 people gather.
yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you have so many people and so many activities, and you're planning also this year. If everything goes well,
Yeah.
you will do
Yes.
another one.
Yeah, it will be continuously. So come to Raw. I gave an invitation card. Always, you're welcome. Come to
You bet. You bet.
Yes.
If it's possible to travel, I will be there. I mean, it's very exciting. I heard so much about how it was such a success. Yeah, I can't wait to visit all of you and draw together.
You should.
I'm sure that there are many sketchers now who are very curious and would love to see that happen as well. And I think it's very inspiring that you've managed to do this, like especially in 2020. And then you're going to do it again, that you've managed to find a way to handle a physical event with hundreds of people, with social distancing, with workshops, with masks, and everybody's being careful. That's, I think, very exemplary. So congratulations. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Well, next thing that I'd like to ask, I mean, because of all these things that are happening and you've had so much experience already with handling situations under the pandemic, obviously, like you've successfully held such a huge event. Jeewon, maybe you can tell us what kind of plans or hopes do you have for after the pandemic is gone? Once COVID is no more, what's going to happen?
Yes, absolutely. I think it will be the massive meeting and visit with each other's chapters. As you know, Mr. Song commented despite of pandemic crisis, the number of Korean chapters will increase during last year. I think the most chapters were built last year. It is amazing. 17 is a really amazing number.
Let me just underline that again for the viewers. The chapters, urban sketching chapters in Korea have grown a lot, but huge growth happened last year during a pandemic. Is that right?
Yes, it's
A
right.
lot of your new chapters were set up. The unofficial ones and all that, especially, was set up in 2020. Now, that's amazing. Okay, please go on.
Yes, I think it is the evidence that Korean people really love the drawing life and urban sketching. So I think the many people start to understand the urban sketch, life sketch, live sketching. And from the kind of live sketching, people can get the healing or comfort to themselves. It's good, really good for our life. Can you share my pictures? Okay.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was looking forward to sharing that. 1 second. Okay.
Okay. It is the wide view size of my pictures. I drew this picture in last year because the Korean government private to gather more than 5 people. We just went around alone, and I always went outside every weekend, and I tried to do urban sketching. This background in me shows the Korean famous Ngan Gate, which is located in Suwon city. I tried to the feeling of the magnificent and the gorgeous style in Korea. And also you can find the Korean special roof style. It has the specific curves. I tried to draw it quickly, but it's my drawing book at that time. My drawing book is big. It takes about 2 hours.
2 hours for that. Okay.
Yes.
What about this one? What's happening here?
Yes, this picture. I think this picture shows my outdoor life drawing very well. You can find the tiny mini palette in this picture. You can just it containing the 6 colors. I always take it in my pocket. Whenever I want to draw something, I just take out this palette and I start to draw.
Very mobile.
Yes, it is very comfortable and useful to carry out outside. I made it by myself.
Wow!
This kind of drawing kit is very useful. I think it is very helpful to do to continue to do my urban sketching life.
Well, this gives us an idea of what all the places that we can sketch with you when we come and visit at some point.
Yes. From this slide, this pictures shows the drawing of other members in Suwon administrator. This picture drew the Miss Jyojin, and the post picture. Yes, this post picture showed the Korean old structure and old square and the rampart. She loves to draw always brown and monotone color tone. And I think it described the wide view very well. And the right side picture, another member, Miss Keesung. She liked to draw her neighborhood. She always went out and then she drew containing her neighborhood old store. The background is the local store. There's this kind of stores over the Korea. You can find anywhere in Korea.
That looks like the kind of thing that I would like to draw as well. And
yeah, it is also the Mr. Jinny and Mrs. Song's pictures. They are showed our Korean drawing life. They also went out alone, and in order to draw this kind of pictures, it is challenge. Yeah. From the kind of pictures, people you can see Korean people never stop drawing life under the COVID crisis. So for this reason, I think after the current crisis improved, many people started to visit other city or to share their pictures offline, and it makes people more flexible or more healing into them. I think. I hope
That sounds good. I mean, already in the comments, I can see how people are excited about sketching in Korea, and it looks like you've managed to do this very safely as well. Okay, we've got a good question here from this is Zip Chips coming into us from San Diego. Your events are so large. Do you need special permits to organize?
currently.
Good question.
Gyeongju. Okay, Gyeongju. Please, can you
We can answer it.
Okay, your
Sure.
turn.
Yes, take it away, Gyeongju.
Okay.
You know, we will, how can I say? Yes, there is a permission for our local administration and the local city hall. And first time we just always presented what urban is because they didn't know, they didn't have any idea about urban sketching. So we presented and the Charlie Keesung's paintings, drawings, and Mr. Jung's drawings, and what urban is, and we explained the manifesto. And we, as I told you, what we had to explain was the difference just painting, and then how to attractive things urban is. And now they are our supporters, strong supporters.
Oh,
Yes.
fantastic.
And they provide so many place or very precious place to the urban sketchers. And so we also collaborate with them so many things.
That's an excellent bit of inspiration and an example. Thank you. So you do have to approach and get permits. Okay, yeah. I suppose every city is a little bit different, and so you have to approach. Do you approach a local government or the local council?
Yes, we did. Unless we need a place to under government control. So if we want to rent those kind of place, we need a permission. Especially big event, we need a big place, right? So we need a permission, of course.
And because of the pandemic, do you need something special, a special permit to hold such a big event under these circumstances?
Yes, we supposed to get ready for medical teams, medical team for urgent, and then also we have to quarantine everywhere. Actually the spot we going to use. So then the government will give the permission. But now in Gyeongju has Gyeongju urban has a good connection with the city halls. So they already have they already did one permission before 2020. So it's going to be easy to get the permission for next year. This year. So it's everything kind of ready for event this year, even though it's under pandemic.
Exciting. Yeah, well, and that's also a very good takeaway, because once you've established that relationship, you've set an excellent example. Then when you want to do it again, then it's much easier to work with the local government.
Right. Yes.
Perfect. Okay. So then we have to ask then, do you have any plans for the future to hold a regional event in South Korea?
Yes. Why not there? Yes, you know what? We need to tell something about the Asian Mink, There is all the the global sketchers know about just only urban sketcher symposium, but all of the Asian know about the Asian Mink, Yes. So the Suwon is already host the next Asian Mink after Bandung. So at the first time we hosted already 2020 this year, but the COVID-19 situation pushed us. So Bandung is of course delayed their sketch work and Indonesia. What is the code that they delayed their symposium Asian Mink to this year. So of course we we postpone our event to next year. And this is photo from the Suwon, and the confirmed date is now the next year. But this is of course the Suwon's view, but the Bandung situation we didn't know about in this year. So if the Bandung could delay one more year, we can post one more 2 years this year and then
Postpone it, yeah.
yes for the next. And you can see this photo show our wall, brick wall under Suwon, and there is what is called a balloon.
There's this hot air balloon that's in a lot of your drawings.
Yes, there is a flying balloon in Suwon, and this photo is made by me last month. We want to draw the flying Suwon, that balloon, by not didn't gather, but the online only. So, but at the time I tried to draw that, but it was raining, so I drew it on my car. And then, yes, if you come to Suwon if you come to Suwon in Asianic next year, you should see that big balloon in Suwon. Yes, but I wish the COVID-19 situation to get rid of in this wall. So maybe Bandung will have the Asianic in this year, and many sketchers come to Suwon next year because we host the Asianic, but we cannot ready anything not yet. So if Bandung delay next year and the next, we welcome all of the sketchers, all of the world. Yes,
Well, that sounds exciting, and we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. So basically, if Bandung goes ahead this year, Asia Link Suwon is next year. Okay.
Yes, it's fine.
And if Bandung's Asia Link is postponed, then Suwon will also be pushed.
Yes, of course, we talk about that, but yes, I don't know about any opinion from Bandung yet.
Well, nobody can predict. Nobody can predict, but that's very good to know. I'm sure that there'll be many sketchers who will follow you and go check you out on Instagram so that we know the official what's going to happen and all that once travel things open. So before we end this session with the Koreans, maybe Charlie, can you give us an idea, 3 main things that visiting sketchers need to draw when they come and visit South Korea? 3 things.
Yes. Okay. As you catch it, so we have a very big potential and to more grow up for Korea. So we have a total as 17. So the sketch communities for the foreigner and new sketchers is we are welcome. So if foreigners and other sketchers want to be join or visit to Korea and join us, we can just contact us, as we can arrange it in any place, and we have lots of nice and fantastic place in there. And also one of the good thing is most of Korean sketchers has a warm heart. Warm heart. Yeah.
That we know. That we can tell.
I trust. So especially the Gyeongju is also very get support from the city and government as well. So anyhow, so welcome to the global sketchers and the newcomer. So anyone comes to us, we can support you. Okay. Yeah.
That sounds fantastic, and that is
one more thing is I want to talk about Incheon. Yes, the urban sketchers Incheon is in the Incheon International Airport. Yes, so when you come to the Korea, you have to come via the Incheon Airport. But when it comes to the transfer from the other country, you can have a chance to transfer in Incheon Airport and make some more time. And and call the USK Incheon team. And I'm here, and would you come to me? And maybe Incheon team member have a warming, very hot heart, and they pick you up from the Incheon International Airport, you know? Okay,
They should go there. They should go there.
And then bye-bye. See you next time. Okay, that sounds really exciting. Thank you all so much, Korean Sketchers, for being on the show. It's very exciting to hear about your inspirational journey. Oh, what amazing mugs too. Okay. Well, we'll see you next time. We hope to see you in Gyeongju Sketch Festa, in Israel, Suwon. Lots of things to keep an eye out for urban sketchers around the world. So we'll definitely meet up again when travel is allowed. Thank you again so much.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you. 고마워.
Bye-bye. Okay, thank you all for sticking around. This is USk Talks. If you tuned in not so long ago, we were talking to the sketchers in Korea who have so much to share, so many interesting things to talk about, and places to show us where to go and sketch. They just said they got warm hearts. They're willing to, open up and show you all where to go, what to do, what to draw. So make sure to follow all these sketchers. Check them out. And if you're going to be in Korea, if you're going to be in transit in Incheon Airport, arrange to go out for a few hours if you can and go meet up with them. Okay, we have now the sketchers from New Zealand who would like to invite up. Coming up, we have Murray, we've got Eric, and we've got Anne. Hello, hi. How are you? Thank you all for hanging in there and for joining us. Eric especially is coming to us from a really remote location in New Zealand, so thank you so much. It's so good to see you all.
Good to see you.
Great to be here.
Great to be here.
So Anne, just to verify, thank you for putting all that in your name as well, so we know. Murray and Eric, you're coming to us from Auckland, and Anne, you're from USK Wellington, right? Yes. Very cool. So what's the situation right now like in New Zealand? Because I think around the world, we've heard the news of how New Zealand has been exemplary in handling the COVID situation. Lockdowns were necessary, and that enabled you to be really free and mask-free even for a while now. What's the current situation like right now? Murray, maybe you can tell us.
Right now, we're completely free to do as we wish. I think it's officially level 2. Is that right, guys? Level 1. We have a level system. Level 4 is full lockdown, but we're at level 1, so we're free really to travel and live as normal. So very lucky. Auckland this year has had two lockdowns to level 3, but the rest of the country's been was fully open through that time.
Wow, that's really amazing. And I've just heard also that there is now a travel bubble across the Tasman Sea. So you've got the Aussies flying over as well.
Yeah, next month.
Next month. Okay, it hasn't started yet. All right.
So it's not far away.
So because you're all free, are you currently holding sketch walks and meeting up to draw?
Yes, we generally.
Maybe Anne, go ahead, Anne. Tell us what.
Yeah, we usually have one in Wellington here, which is in the North Island, same island as these guys who are up in Auckland, and we have one meet up a month. And sometimes through summer we might have an evening sketch at a bar or coffee house as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're in the same situation too in Auckland. Yeah. Where our regular monthly sessions have continued. Of course, we lost some during last year with the major lockdowns, but our most recent short-term lockdowns have been allowed us to schedule outside of that. So we've been very privileged and very lucky to be able to be to be able to continue as 99% normal.
Well, that's really good to hear, and I think you're the luckiest sketchers in the world right now. You can go about, so you don't even have to wear masks. Is that right?
We do have to wear masks on public transport if we're flying, which is not something that happens that often. But yeah, so generally it's fine. We do have a scanning app that we use wherever we go, which is designed to track down the source if it needs to. But yeah, very lucky.
Okay.
We do have some restrictions on gatherings over 100 people, don't we, guys? So, I mean, that has impacted on particularly Eric's work, his work outside sketching, because he's an events organizer. But we're much smaller, both our groups, the group in Wellington and the group in Auckland is nowhere near as big as the Korean group, so it's not an issue for us.
Yeah, I'm a bit in awe actually of just listening to the Korean guys. Then the impressive number of people and meetups they've had COVID. Amazing.
I know. I think in Asia they are unsurpassed.
Right.
Actually, possibly in many countries as well. Okay, so you sent some interesting photos. I recognize Eric and Murray actually from, this is the Singapore Symposium, is that right?
Singapore, yes. Yeah, that's Singapore. And there's Dave from Wellington and Scott with the hat, who's from another city, New Plymouth sketch group. So that was I guess it was the largest contingent of New Zealand sketchers at a symposium so far.
This is the largest so far. Okay, all right. Well, in the future, I'm sure we're going to see more of you. And is this what a typical sketch meetup looks like?
That was a good weekend that we had with it was actually a nationwide invitational. So there's some Aucklanders there, there's some Wellingtonians there, and also we had a late visitor from Hosanna Lau, come from Gyeongju, was on holiday as well, so she joined us as well.
Oh, that's very cool. I mean, it looks like you got beautiful weather. It looks really pretty out there.
That's a typical day.
How often do you have sketch meetups?
We have in Wellington, we have once a month, and possibly sometimes an evening sketch.
Oh wow, okay. So Sanjeev Joshi is asking exactly that. How often do you meet up? So what's it like in Auckland? How often do you all meet up to draw?
Yeah, we have a regular set one for once a month, the last Saturday of the month, and but now and again we have
just checking with the doors closed.
Now and again, we have an ad hoc one that comes in. If it's with an event or something, or maybe a visiting sketcher has come into the country and we'll host them.
Okay, that's good to know. Last Saturday of the month, and if you're a visiting sketcher, there might be something special organized just for you. Cool. Okay, each of you have sent some really interesting sketches for us to share today with very specific projects. So I'd like to dive right into that because I think it's time for some amazing artwork. Murray, let's go with you first because I'm really excited by the thought of this trip that you took. So everyone, this is Murray on Instagram, Kiwi Sketcher. Check him out. Murray, you went on a bike ride, right?
I did.
Tell us about that.
Later last year, we had a lockdown, a month-long lockdown, and the big work project I was working on at the time got canned. My contract got ended, and I thought, right, I need to do something. I need to get out on the bike, get away from the computer screen, and this event popped up, and it's put my name down. Very easy to do, put your name down. But as the months ticked by and it got closer and closer, I realised I would need to do some training. It was actually quite a long way. It was 1,100 kilometres.
1,100 kilometres.
Yeah, wow. It's called the Kopiko, and in Māori that means to travel, I think, left or right, to meander or to wander. and so riders could start in the west, or they could start in the east, and we rode across the country and passed each other as we went. So quite an interesting concept for an event. But it was a lot of fun. So you had the picture of me in the tent before. You had to carry your own tent, your own cookers, and your own food mostly, because a lot of the places are very remote. And in my case, I carried a sketchbook, a couple of these little moleskin concertina books.
Oh wow! Okay.
And a pen.
Let me just pull you up full screen so that you can show that to the viewers. The moleskins and right. Okay. Very handy.
Yeah, very handy. A lot of sketches will be pretty familiar with try to get on the screen, the A6 moleskin. But it's concertina.
Wow.
And I figured that's got to be the ultimate way to describe a narrative of a travel trip, is to be able to sketch in one continual line. So that's what I did. It fits nice in a little pocket along with the sketch, and away you go.
I mean, I'm just looking at the scale of this and how when you open it up, of course, when we show it on screen, you can't see anything, which is why I've done this bit of animation to zoom in. But I really love how you've captured like these quick vignettes of things that have happened. How many sketchbooks did you fill again, did you say?
2.
2, okay.
2, but both sides of the pages.
Oh, on both sides. Well, 4 then.
Well, it's like 4. The beauty of it was I could stop in the street on the road when another sketcher or farmer or whatever appeared, and just while I was chatting to him, I could do a 5-minute sketch. That's really all the time I had to sketch anything. Really, was 5 to 10 minutes,
right,
and then later on in the evening, lying in my tent, I would get the watercolors out and take a bit of color on. You'll notice there's a lot of things like there are food items in there. That becomes quite important when you're cycling 100 odd Ks a day with all your gear, particularly pies. You can, in New Zealand, you can buy a pie almost anywhere. Yeah, you can't find anything of much nutritional value, really, but pies are always available. And sometimes you have to eat 2 or 3 on the go.
What, 2 or 3? How long did this entire journey take? This 1,100 kilometers?
11 days.
11 days. Wow.
I thought we might do it a bit quicker, but I think the sketching probably slowed things down a little bit. So 11 days, and generally that would be get up at 6. By 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, you're still on the bike. You're just bumping into people, other cyclists and locals as you go, and it just takes the whole day up. Finding food, pitching your tent.
Did you lose a lot of weight on this? Because I mean, that's a lot of exertion. You're covering like 100 Ks a day.
Yeah, and it was incredibly hilly. I think we climbed 20,000 meters of height, which is similar to 2 times Mount Everest, apparently.
Wow.
So it's lots of really fun downhills, but everyone finished with an uphill, unfortunately.
Wow. Okay. But I love how you've captured everything, even like this boar's head, and you've got really everything. This is an amazing way to encapsulate your whole trip and capture that experience.
Yeah, that was a great way to finish the day, actually. It was a really long day, and we were staying in a sheep station, which is a huge backcountry farm for sheep.
Right.
And some of them were letting out their shearers' quarters to cyclists, and we pulled into that one in particular. And the first thing the guy said is, "Do you guys want steak?" And we were like, "Yes."
Are you kidding?
Here's the beer. The beer's around there. And so within minutes we had beer and steak, and off we went to cook ourselves a dinner. It was hilarious.
Oh, fantastic. I love how you've got little vignettes capturing, like talking to the locals, and you've got everything. You've got food, you've got scenery, you've got architecture in there. And you were saying that all these are like 5-10 minute sketches. Is that right?
Yeah, perhaps that one there might have taken a few more minutes, but not much. Especially when you're adding color later, you know. Got to get the line work down, and I was writing with a mate, and didn't want to hold him up too much, so you know, he was my incentive to sketch quickly, and on purpose I didn't pack a pencil, just in case I ended up penciling things in first, you know, I'd still be there.
Just forces you. Well, you've done a great job. I mean, this would make such an interesting exhibition on its own, or a book that you could have published if you wanted to.
Yeah, a few people have said that.
Yeah, I can imagine. But what a way to capture that. And you were saying that there was just the two of you writing? I thought it was like
just the two of us. But in the event, I think there were something like 300 people, 300 plus. Plus, there was another bikepacking event called the Tour Aotearoa. So that starts at the very top of the country and goes all the way to the bottom. And there are cyclists all over the place. I think the fact that Kiwis can't leave means we're all doing something within our own country. We're all getting out and about and you know, seeing what our own country has to offer, I guess.
I think that's a universal theme. A lot of people are discovering the joys of home, and you're very fortunate. You've got such a huge variety of wonderful nature to explore. Like just this. I mean, you've got this. Yeah, obviously, was that cycling in the dark? Oh, this guy's got a rifle.
We were in a Department of Conservation hut, so that's right up in the mountains in the bush. It's like a rainforest. We call it bush, but it's a type of rainforest, and it's a public facility. So hunters turn up in the middle of the night. Hunters like to get out with big spotlights, and they use that to kind of to stall deer or possums or wallabies or whatever in their tracks, and they shoot them. So they, you know, 1 o'clock in the morning, these hunters suddenly burst in on you with their head torches on and rifles. It can be a bit intimidating initially, but yeah, we had a great chat. Nice guys.
Yeah, you have to be careful not to be mistaken for prey. So I see that you've got like really bright riding gear on and all that.
That's actually there's been some occurrences of that happening in New Zealand. I think right now is what they call the roar. So the deer, it's the mating season for the deer. So you hear the deer in the forest at night making quite a racket.
I've just noticed also, because I follow you on Instagram, and I know you love drawing cars. I love how you've managed to travel. You're biking, you're camping, you're like on the go, 100 Ks a day on average, and you're still finding time to draw these amazing vintage cars.
When I come across them, I can't help it. Old cars, old houses, old people, actually, they're quite good to draw too. But yeah, this one was just like a heaven for a sketcher, really. We pulled into this bay, and there's a campground on the beach, beautiful view, and there's this amazing old Ford Fairlane, I think it was, and a 1950s caravan behind it. It looked like a photo shoot being set up or something. So
I can imagine. If I saw this, I would have like, life has to stop, and I would have to draw that.
Yeah,
in fact, Myrtle is asking what kind of pen you use for your line work.
I used this one. It is an Artline calligraphy pen.
Oh, calligraphy pen.
I actually was thinking of using my Fude nib fountain pen, but I decided it might be difficult to refill on the roadside, so, and carrying ink bottles and that sort of thing. So the good thing about this, sorry Rob, I'll just hold it up again. Good thing about it is it's got a slight wedge to the nib, so you can vary the line width.
Okay, great.
And it's a little bit like a fountain pen, not quite.
How many of these did you have with you?
I had about 6 of those just in case. Went through maybe 4 of them.
Wow. Okay. Something to check out. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of your work. Thanks very much for sharing these spreads. It must have been quite something. You scanned them and stitched them, did you, to do this?
Oh yeah. It's not all of them. It's just it's probably 2/3 of them.
Oh wow. Okay.
And this is the finish. So the start and the finish is at a lighthouse on the so this is the eastern extremity of the North Island, or of New Zealand really. And the lighthouse used to be situated on that little island there. You'll notice with New Zealand we have really imaginative names for our islands. We've got North Island, South Island, and that's called East Island. And the lighthouse used to be there until it looked like it was going to fall off, so they moved it to the mainland. So when we finished our ride after 1,100 k's, we had to walk up, I don't know, 850 steps or something to get up to that lighthouse and have a photograph of ourselves just to confirm that we had really done it.
You did it.
Yeah.
And were you did you fly back or did you have to cycle all the way back?
Oh no, there was fortunately I had organised my parents to come and be there, so I'm so relieved they were there because we finished on a really good tailwind. If we'd had to turn around and go back, I might have been quite demoralising, I think.
Well, that sounds like quite an adventure. Thank you for sharing that with us, Murray.
Oh, no worries.
Very cool. Okay, up next we have Anne, who, let me put up Anne's hero shot, and this is Anne on Instagram. And I heard that you've got this amazing, you did this amazing round of, you joined a local community project in your neighborhood. Can you tell us more about that? It was not, yeah, please go ahead.
Well, since joining Urban Sketches in Wellington in about 2017, I saw that the other people in the group were taking their sketchbooks everywhere with them. So I started to get into that habit myself. And I live on this really beautiful coastline near the entrance to Wellington Harbour. And I work from home as a freelancer. So I'm lucky I can just walk down to the beach quite regularly. And I had my sketchbook with me this time. So I just noticed that there were all these people on my local beach wearing bright pink vests. Oh, this gives you just an idea of the rugged coastline. And this is a friend. She's a painter who lives a bit further around the coast. And we set up a picnic one day and sketched together. And it used to be, we live very near to an old military camp. So those there's a lot of broken pieces of brickwork and buildings that were basically, the military camp was there right since World War I, and it was decommissioned in the 1990s. And I think they probably just dumped quite a lot of the masonry on the coast. But there you're looking out, you're looking south there's been lots of shipwrecks in those waters. It looks out onto Rokawa Moana, that's the Maori name for Cook Strait, and Cook Strait's one of the windiest zones in the world. And of course, Wellington has got a reputation as being a very windy capital. But anyway, that was a bright day sketching. It was beautiful and still.
I really like the style and the combination of colors and all that, this graphic approach that you've added to your drawing.
Thank you. It's sometimes I do love color, but I think sometimes it comes across stronger when you just have limited color. So I just sort of narrowed it down. I used these pens, just narrowed it down to a few popper colors to make it pop. So this is my sort of black liner. That's really, it's just a go-to pen. It just feels really easy to use, and then I just put some nice color pops in with that. But yeah, there should be a photo of a group of people down at my beach with the pink vests. Yeah, that's the one. So I just, it was a windy day, as quite often is. And it was like, what are they? We're lucky in New Zealand. Murray and Eric will know too. Often we're so lucky there are only we can arrive at a beach and there's only a few people on the beach. And my beach is, half an hour bus ride from the centre city, but it's actually quite rugged and lovely. It's quite quiet a lot of the time. So it really stood out to me seeing these people picking up rubbish. So I just, without sort of connecting with them, I just started drawing. That's what urban sketches are supposed to do. We draw our location. And it was only later that I met them and started chatting to them, so I was able to get some of the words in there. Then I became interested in this idea of the coastal cleanups happening near to us and the different environmental campaigns. And I was quite pleased to find that there are about 10 or 12 different environmental campaigns going on just within 10 kilometres of my house. And I never would have known that unless I'd seen these guys down there and started talking. So a couple of bays round from where I live is a bay which is famous for having the little blue penguins, which are, I think, reasonably endangered. I think they're about the smallest penguins in the world. And there's a group that looks after, it has nesting boxes set out for the penguins to lay their eggs in. So that's Tarakina Bay. And this was a beach cleanup, and I started biking around. I started chatting to those guys. So there's lots of groups around the coast that are doing regular cleanups of their beaches, and they're also documenting what they find, because in that way we can feed into a policy level. We can feed into a data set about what is actually getting washed up on our beach. And these were some of the unusual things that were found at my local beach on that first time when I connected with that group. So there was literally a ponytail with some plastic bobbles on it. It was a little bit creepy in a way. The organizer of the group said, it's probably from a doll, but his daughter and me know our dolls and know what doll's hair looks like, and we were pretty convinced that it was real hair.
It is not.
And then, it's great because some of these ecological groups picking up rubbish, they start to see patterns at the beaches, and they become quite knowledgeable about, say, where the cotton buds come from, and whether that's related to the tide or the wind that is hitting the beach. And I'd often see that blue square, I'd often seen those in the gutters around my home, and I never knew, and then on the beach, obviously they just get washed down to the beach, and I never knew what they were. And through connecting with these ecological groups, I learned that they are from when people transport the very big panes of glass to building sites or new houses, they have these square foam pieces, to stop the glass crashing against, pieces of glass crashing against. But unfortunately, they just wash off and are just left as litter and wash up. So, yeah, this was another couple of bays around at the end of an annual beach cleanup. So I was just, capturing, they got 5 very large sacks of rubbish. I mean, I think, unfortunately, New Zealand we've got a small population, so I think we have perhaps less of a litter problem than other countries. But I think, unfortunately, New Zealanders have become just as lazy about dropping litter around as happens everywhere. And I think we often notice, like with the processed food, with a lot of plastic packaging, that ends up on beaches.
That's a major problem everywhere. But I really like the idea that you've gotten involved with this, and this, especially this litter intelligence thing, so that you have, people are starting to log what's in the litter and what's happening to the beaches.
I think, that's the great thing. It's sort of several steps higher than just cleaning up your beach. The Litter Intelligence is a campaign that's nationwide. There's about 150 groups at beaches all around New Zealand. And basically any volunteer, any ordinary person can receive training to become a citizen scientist and do a survey of their beach 4 times a year. And it's actually a scientific analysis of a strip of your beach, and I decided, I want to do that. I want to help look after my beach. So I received the training. It was about 4 hours, and I've just made the commitment to look after 2 local beaches, and I've got a little team of volunteers going.
Hi, this is Bob
and
Mosley,
we can
and
we not only pick up the rubbish, but then we bring it back and analyze it and then upload the results to it becomes part of a nationwide data set. And from there we can policy can be changed on litter. Places like the glass industry that are producing these rubber tiles, they have been approached with this big data set from New Zealand, from groups all around New Zealand, and it would give the actual statistics on how many of these foam squares are being picked up each year. So that becomes much more powerful than just a group of people saying, my beach has got lots of blue squares on it, please do something about it. That's not so powerful, is it?
No, it is. I mean, and what you're doing is really important. And I love how, as a sketcher, you're getting involved with the local community and you're doing something. I mean, it's already amazing to help clean up the beach, but to be part of this as well, it's sometimes people are not going to realize what's happening until the data is put right in front of them. So,
and I think the nice thing is that as a sketcher, you can then, and this ties into our challenge, doesn't it? You can actually be generous with your sketching and sketches if people are interested, and say, hey, well, I'm happy for you to put this up on your Litter Intelligence social media page. And that's what's happened, and it's actually helping promote it. It's helping get the word out in a different way than just writing or photos. And people are really responding to that. They like the sketches. It's sort of a fresh and different way of communicating. So that was a really nice feeling, because it feels like it's come full circle, and I'm able to make use of tell a good news story, and then my sketches actually help the cause, which I actually do believe in really strongly.
That's a brilliant story, and for all of you who are watching, hang on for the challenge, because Anne's story ties in very much to that. In fact, our whole episode ties into it. So hang on, we've got our challenge coming up at the end of the show. After this, right now, we would like first to talk to Eric, because Eric is in a very unique position. He is a sketcher, but he also is an events manager with the Auckland City Council. Is that right? Did I get it right, Eric?
That's right. Correct. Yes.
Okay. Well, very exciting. But before we jump into all of that, let's pull up Eric's hero image. This is Eric on Instagram. Go check him out. I'd like to show some of your drawings as well, as you talk to us about your role as city council. We'll get into the events management thing, but I mean, I remember seeing you at several symposia. Have you attended like every single one? This is obviously Amsterdam.
I wish. I wish. No, I've done Singapore, Chicago, and Amsterdam. So every 2 years has been my sort of pattern so far.
Okay, fantastic. You're actually the hero image that I have in a picture of sketchers in Chicago drawing. Like, you're right up front, and then everybody else is like going into the background. And it's this amazing scene of like sketchers everywhere. And you've got
I've seen that image. I've seen that image, and I look terrible because I'm squinting, and the perspective was killing me in Chicago.
No, that's like sketcher intensity. I have sketcher face too. I mean, there's a sketcher frown of intensity. And I'm just looking at your work. Also, you got very diverse style. You do work with line. You work with brush pens. Very cool. And all this detailed stuff. Do you have like a particular thing that you particularly love to sketch and draw?
What I draw with is a brush pen mostly, and then sort of color filled pens to follow. I do try and limit my palette on occasion. This one's straight black and white, obviously, of a Māori meeting house, which is up at the Auckland Museum. That was done during the 24-hour global sketch to celebrate the 10th birthday of USK several years ago.
Wow.
But, yeah, there's I do like to vary my style if I can. It's a good challenge. There we go. Yes, it's Singapore. This was Sir Heater's workshop, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she gets some.
Such a diversity of work and style.
I guess as an event producer, I'm always looking for a new thing, so I get bored easily. So
okay. So would it be fair to say that you are the official party guy? I mean, you're holding events. You're basically making people feel good.
That's a great way to put it. I'd love to put that on my CV in that same manner. But effectively, yeah, I've been an event professional for 25 years now, and putting on festivals and events and working on theatre and television. And I guess the current events I do right now are they're called in Auckland. They're called major events, so they're of a certain size. And I mean, our team recently delivered the America's Cup here in Auckland, and we're gearing up for various other Cricket World Cup, Rugby World Cup, that sort of level of events. But the other events that I lead on are more like the cultural ethnic community events. So I've run the Diwali festival before, which is the Indian cultural festival. I've run Pacific festivals, Maori festivals,
Right.
and the big event is the Lantern Festival. There's a great picture of some dragons at the Lantern Festival, which is part of the Chinese New Year period, and this one's become the largest cultural festival in New Zealand. Over 4 days, we have about 180,000 people come to the festival.
Wow.
And as you can see through that, I try and merge the two passions of my life of event management and sketching.
Which one came first, sketching or event management?
Sketching, art, yeah, basically. I say that I'm a event producer by profession and an artist by trade. But so it's the creativity with art comes into my event management with the design and layout and
Right.
even maybe you see it, my t-shirt right now is this year's Lantern Festival t-shirt.
Okay, hang on. I gotta pull that full screen. Show that t-shirt again. Auckland Lantern Festival. Oh, cool. Yeah. Wow. Oh,
but
right.
unfortunately, for the last 2 years, the festival has been cancelled because of COVID.
Right. Okay. About to ask.
Yes, that's a reality now with events of any significant size. Is that we can be working for 8 months in advance, and within 1 week before we open the doors, we find some community cases and it gets shut down. So that's a whole new. That's something else I never thought I'd have on my CV, is about how to unproduce festivals.
Well, I guess it's a worldwide challenge right now. Are you holding something on smaller scale now, though, or are you like planning for when things start to open up a bit more?
We're sort of doing both at the same time, where we have large scale events and what we need to do with mitigations and health and safety and all that sort of stuff, and also how we can redesign them into maybe smaller scale events, a bit more widespread, aiming for a smaller audience level, but still having an impact that hits at a major event level, emotionally, and interacts with the city in a large way. So we sort of end up trying to design 2 or 3 events at the same time of different levels. So it's but of course we only ever deliver one at a time. So it's
right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Interesting.
That's all. Yeah, that's always a bit of a challenge. But I really love how you're doing so much cultural work. I mean, this is a great gif that you shared with us with the Punjabi
Yes.
community.
That's right.
Part
Yes,
of
this is
Diwali.
the Diwali festival, yes. This group we invited to come over from Punjab, from India. We brought them over to perform here in New Zealand as our headliners, and there's a sketch from Murray at a Diwali festival with the drummers sort of drumming up the crowd to a frenzy. It's an amazing energy.
This is a great sketch. I mean, it looks it feels so festive. So do you make it a thing to integrate also the local sketching chapter, USK Auckland, into your events and things that happen?
Yeah, where I can. If time coincides, if there's an ability to schedule one of our regular sketch sessions, or we do an ad hoc one as part of the festival. So I'll just fold that into the festival. And I guess the background to the Auckland Sketch Group also is that our regular sessions started in 2012, which was all part of the Auckland anniversary weekend event that I was programming. And there's Buskers Festival during that weekend, a seafood festival, there's a yacht regatta, and I thought the festival needed some sort of visual arts element to it. And at that time, I said, okay, well, I was looking for some sketching buddies, and I stumbled across a few in Auckland, and including Murray, and basically from that Auckland anniversary weekend, we've maintained a monthly session since 2012.
Wow, that's really exciting. And as an event producer, you've also found a way to integrate the artwork of sketchers into installations. Tell us about this one.
Yeah. So this is a interesting opportunity that arose with this local community. It's called Avondale in Auckland. It's a growing community with a developing community. They have a local art festival. So the idea was that I would work with the organisers and say, I will bring a group of sketchers to the town, put us in your program, and we will sketch elements of the town, and then they take those sketches, expand them into poster size, and display them outdoors. So what you're looking at here is the final result, which the display occurred at, and this was done with the development team at Auckland City Council as well. So a few threads there coming in. Yeah. Do
you mind if I just interrupt for a sec? The significance of the spiders there. Avondale's famous for the Avondale spider, which was the star of the movie Arachnophobia. All of the spiders in that movie were sourced from Avondale, apparently.
Yes.
I thought that was a very interesting work of art, and you guys nobody has arachnophobia in New Zealand. Such a giant spider. But apart from that, I mean, I love seeing all these poster-sized sketches up. Is this like a permanent installation now? Because it looks like it's locked down to these giant cinder blocks.
No, we were there's an ongoing exhibition site for other artists to put their work up on. We were just the first exhibition to go ahead, and we were up for like 6 months in all.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So it was a great opportunity to sketch the town. What you're looking at there, that image is the local race course, which is slowly fading away. So yeah, we've captured or immortalized these iconic images of this town, and done it in our way, but also worked with the local festival and also with the local development board as well.
What a fantastic initiative. I mean, this is really, really inspiring, and it's perfect because this cues us up really nicely for the challenge of the week. So after talking to all of you, this is what we're calling the challenge: creative contributions to your community. So what we'd like everyone to do, everyone who's watching, is to post a sketch of a local festival, an occasion, a ceremony, or an activity you drew at. If it's safe for you, you can actually go out and draw something that's going to happen. But if it's not, post something from the past. And we'd like you, there's a part A and a part B. First is to post and tell us about this event that you drew. Part B is, especially if you're under lockdown, to think about how you can connect with the event organizer in the future for something that is going to happen, whether it's a cultural thing or it's a celebration of something historic, or it's something like Anne has done, with a community project, something with an environmental bent or interest or something like that. Anything, something with your community. Think about a creative contribution and connect with your event, with an event organizer, and hook something up. So we'd like to show a couple of examples. This is to remind you of what Anne did. It's such a great initiative. What a great idea. Instead of just participating in a beach cleanup, she drew it, and this goes so much deeper. All that information is going to go back and help, hopefully, people realize how much they're chucking into the sea and stuff. We've also got an example from the South Koreans. They drew something, they drew a historical place, like Gyeongju. The urban sketches from Gyeongju just told us how they have a relationship with city council because they've done so many events. So we'd like you to think also, like, maybe you don't want to do a giant festival with 400 people, but you could do something on some level with your local council, with your community. Think about possibilities. And coming back to you, Eric, now you've organized all sorts of things. This is a sketch from one of your lantern festivals, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Food stalls, very busy.
Yeah. So there's so many ways to depict that. I assume this one is from Diwali as well, based on the writing. Maybe Eric, could you give the audience some advice as an event organizer if they wanted to, like, there are a lot of sketches who like just draw and then they're very shy. They might post their work online, but they may not have an idea how to approach an event organizer. Could you give some tips to everyone to have an idea where to start?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. As a producer, I'm always looking for content. So I'm always looking for either visual arts content or dance or singers or something like that. So if somebody comes along and I see they're a compelling talent, then and I can see what they can do, we can work together, then I'll grab them. If you are the talent out there, and I class all sketches in this field, you're all artists, you're talent. So as a producer, you're talent. So what you put a proposal to a producer, to the local community events team. It only needs to be like a 5 bullet points, and then you can start the dialogue. Okay, I mean, if it starts at 5 bullet points, then you take the dialogue for a few weeks. But if you've got actually something really, a package already that you can put on the table, and if it's compelling, then I'm the producer, so why would I say no? So take away the reasons for the producer to say no, and you've solved it for them. And I will gladly take anything that's got content that is ready-made, ready to go. So that comes down to you as the artist or a group of artists to say, okay, we really want to do this thing, and let's take it to this festival to put it on their table. Okay, so you want to be really certain about what you want to do. Okay, because you see, you've heard all the stories about the great rock and roll gigs and with their riders saying they want whiskey in their caravan, they want champagne, they want the M&Ms with the blue taken out, all that sort of stuff. So that's just been really clear about what you want, and if you can put that to a producer, so the producer can actually take all of that and say no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. But that's eats up a lot of time, that whole negotiation stuff. So, but it's still up to the producer to say yes or no. But it's much easier for the producer to say yes if you've given the producer, absolute reasons to say yes. It's and the other part is develop a relationship. Don't come crashing into the door 1 week out before the festival opens and say you've got to let us in because we're great, we're fantastic. And I'll say, well, I've never heard of you. Who can you recommend, etc., etc. Come to the producer, months in advance. These major events take 8 months to get underway. I've got some ideas that are percolating for the last 2 years before they get live. So that's real simple, really. I mean, be certain about what you want to do, put it in front of the producer, and then negotiate thereafter. Make it compelling for them.
Yeah, and I suppose the bare minimum would be like, hey, Eric, well, we know that you organize these festivals all the time. We're a bunch of urban sketchers. Go check out our work here. This is what we do. Can you give us like a front seat to draw this particular thing that you're putting on? Maybe give us some lunch vouchers, and in exchange, we can provide our scans of our drawings to you, which you can use on social media to promote your event. Would that be a fair?
So, yep, you're done. You're in, Rob. You're in.
Okay, that's one example. It's up to your creativity, everyone, to think about what else you can do. Again, remember, I'm just going to show this slide again. The idea is to post a sketch of something that you drew in the past. Could be any kind of event. And then that's part A, post and tell us about it. Part B is to give some thought to how you might approach an event organizer and arrange for a bunch of sketches to go there and draw something. Then start building relationships. You never know what can happen. And Eric gave us some very, very good points of what could possibly work out. So stew on that. Okay. I would also, we're coming to the end of the show now. I really wanted to thank all our fantastic guests from South Korea as well as New Zealand. Thank you all so much for being part of the show. All our Kiwi sketchers, cheers. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom and all your cool work. Okay.
Thanks, Rob. It was great.
Yeah,
hey, Rob, can I take another 2 minutes?
Absolutely. Go ahead, Eric.
So just a bit of background. I'm currently right now on one of the more interesting weekends that I've had in my life so far. That's why I'm up in the far north of New Zealand in a small beach called Miti Miti, Miti, and it's to do with the Chinese community, with the sinking of a vessel over 100 years ago, and there's a memorial being unveiled this weekend. So right now we've been welcomed by the local Maori tribe onto their land, and I did a quick sketch this morning of where we are. So right here, this is the entranceway to the grounds. Here is the Maori meeting house, and this church up here. I'm actually in that church right now with my Zoom call, and you can probably see behind me. There's a stained glass window,
right?
And that's been made by one of New Zealand's most famous Maori artists, Ralph Hotiri. He's born here and was buried up around this place. This window behind me is I don't know, it's probably $8 million worth behind me right now. And it's been one of the most sort of emotional and spiritual journeys that I've had for a long time. I'm getting emotional now. But so this is so I've shared this sketch with the local tribe and they love it, and I'll do some more for them, and so this is what community events can do. Hit you in the heart, memories for a lifetime.
I think that's a perfect way to end the segment because and the episode, because what you're reminding us is how drawing and sketching on location, what we're doing. You might not think very much of what you've got in your sketchbook, but it is so precious when you share it with the people around you, with the community. I mean, look at all the negative news that is happening right now. Drawing, urban sketching is a way to bring positivity back into the lives of so many people. Just showing them what you drew. It warms the heart without a doubt. So please think about it. Go make some wonderful, positive connections. And we hope to hear about your stories of what you did at some point down the line. Okay. Thank you all again, everybody. Thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for staying on. And we'll see you next time. There will be more to come. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay. And for all of you who are still here, thank you so much for staying on the show. Be safe. Be sure to share anything that you post. Hashtag USK Talks Challenge. Hashtag USK Talks. Share your stories on Instagram or social media, whatever it is, so that we know what's happening. And as always, stay safe, be well, and we will see you next week for yet another show Welcome to the Asian time.